What's that word that you heard on curb? Hey, hey, what it do? What it do? What it do? Yes, sir. We is in the building. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. What y'all got going on, Chet? What y'all got going on early this morning? Early vibes, man. Early vibes. Mm, 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 mm. Can't talk about a couple things this morning, gang. Just a couple. Okay. Checking something right quick, gang. Let's see. All right, let's get into a couple of these topics, gang. We'll get in a couple of these topics right quick. And before we get into a couple of these topics, Gene Deal spoke out. Let's get to what Gene Deal had to say first before we get into any of these topics, gang. About the Tupac situation. Let's see what UC and Gene had to say. Let's see what he had to say about the Tupac situation. So he's saying the LAPD unallowed Pac and Biggie or whatever the case may be. Gene Deal. Let get Deal what he had to say.
Before, brother.
Before we get into anything.
The night Pac and Suge was shot, me and my god brother was sitting on the stoop on 112th Street. We get a phone call from one of the guys who was out there. And all the things that I've said before, somebody running up to the car, somebody, Dre probably did it based on the information we had at the time. Keefe D them went one way, they went another way, and they told me that Pac and Suge, they got Pac and Suge, but we'll talk to you when we come back to the crib. Now, it's just one of our dudes that was hanging with them that went the other way when Keefy D and the rest of them was supposed to go another way, and that was to go holler at Suge them. It wasn't no situation where they were saying that they gonna go knock them, do anything like that. They was going to holler at them. And Suge and Keefy D know each other, well enough. Even if they did something to Orlando, they would have had a conversation. They could have had a conversation. And some money or something like that could have been made instead of, you just gonna kill somebody because they jumped somebody. They tried to make it seem like Orlando was this dude, okay, oh, we gonna retaliate in that manner and kill Tupac and all this in the whole 9 yards. What I really thought that happened, man, it don't take a rocket scientist. You don't have to be smarter than a fifth grader to figure this out. A lot of people gonna get mad at me. A lot of people gonna say, oh, I gotta be out of my mind. But come on, let's take some facts. And I'm gonna work with the facts and the stuff that I know. I've been going to Vegas since the late 80s. And I've worked at some of the top clubs in Vegas, doing security for individuals and sometimes doing the door, doing the crowd. I worked in some of these clubs don't exist anymore, but I worked in the All-Star Cafe, if y'all remember that.
What's up, Connie?
I worked in Steven Spielberg Club.
This is Gene Deal. If you're just coming in, he's saying that, okay, he already done said that he don't feel that Pac got unalived by jumping Orlando Anderson that night. He finna tell you the theory of what he think happened to Tupac. Let's go though. This is Gene Deal. Y'all remember the bodyguard that used to run with Biggie them?
The Motown Cafe doing security. And all the years, and I've been to several, do you hear me? Several prize fights. You understand? In all the years I've been there, and all the years I've been going back and forth, I never ever heard of a shootout on the Strip in Vegas. I never heard of gangbangers coming there and killing up somebody on the Strip in Vegas. Now, let's get into it. Somebody wanted the LAPD in Vegas during the time of Tupac and Suge Knight and them performing along with the Mike Tyson event.
So what he trying to say? What he trying to say? The LAPD had something to do with Tupac unaliving? Is that what he trying to get to?
I'm asking myself, and I want people to really think about this. Who was the one who assigned or wanted to go and help the Vegas PD? Who was the one who came up with, we want to go with the Vegas out there in Las Vegas? What cops or what chief of police or who, because the chief of police could only sign off on something like that, but who came up with the ideal that we need to be in Vegas to help the Vegas police officers? They never needed help before. Why does the Vegas Police Department need LA to come and help on this given event? Who came up with that idea? It had to be somebody in the police department. It had to be somebody in the police force.
Man, chill out.
It had to be somebody.
So y'all actually believe the police had something to do with Tupac unaliving, man? I'm just gonna be honest. Chill out. So you telling me if Orlando Anderson don't get jumped that night, Tupac wouldn't be alive? So you actually telling me Orlando Anderson them had nothing to do with Tupac unaliving? I don't believe that game. I just don't believe it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The police, the LAPD police, that's just me. That's just my
Who
belief,
wanted to
gang.
be there. I believe Suge Knight knows those people. He may have even seen those people. Because Suge said something that you got to pay attention to. If you solve the Tupac case, you solve the Biggie case. And who was involved in those two cases that could have killed Tupac and Biggie? Because you, me, any gangbangers, any regular citizens would not get away with killing any one of those people at any time. I'm going to say this, and I truly believe because of the LAPD rogue cops, cops committing robberies, cops selling guns, cops selling drugs. They had something to do with both of lining up both of those individuals. If you go back and you look at the whole situation, brother, why is the LAPD out there? Why? What are they doing? What are they doing in Vegas on that night? Why are they helping them? And hold up, check this out. Why is this the only time there was ever a drive-by shooting? When they supposed to be out there assisting? Why is this the only time that there's a drive-by shooting?
So y'all,
You can't make me
so
believe they ain't
y'all,
had nothing to do with Pac or and Biggie's murder.
oh y'all rocking with
So you believe that the
Gene
police
Deal.
had something to do with Big and Pac? Yo, bro, you cannot get away. You cannot get away with doing any. A regular citizen, a regular crook, a regular gangbang, a regular anybody could not get away with something that was set up. They knew where Suge and Partner was going to. They had intelligence of what they needed to do to get away with it. How is it neither one of these murders are solved? Because it had something to do with people that was paid to protect them. And that was law enforcement.
So let me ask y'all something, gang. Why is Keefe D locked up then? Is he locked up for something else? Oh, y'all let me know in the chat. Why did they lock up Keefe D in the first place? Is he locked up for some whole other charges? Y'all help me out in the chat, gang. Y'all let me know. Why is Keefe D locked up? I'm just asking. Running his mouth. Yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to see if y'all caught up to date. Because remember, they fooled Keefe D. Y'all got to understand. Y'all remember this? Do y'all remember when they first went to Keefe D and they was going to him about the Biggie murder? And he said, no, 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 no. I know about the Tupac. I don't know nothing about the Biggie, but I can tell you about the Tupac unaliving. Then he just went to talking. And they supposed to have gave him immunity. They supposed to gave him immunity, gang. They tricked him. Yeah, they tricked him. Yeah, they tricked him, guy. He said they wanted to testify. Hold up, wait. Did I just see that? Did I just see that? Wait. Did I just see that? There? Wait. Did I just see that? He said they want him to testify. They want me to testify about.
Chiefy D, he's claiming that he wasn't in Vegas when Pac got shot. That's up to the prosecution to prove that. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. From what I know,
Hold up.
from what I was told,
Somebody said Dennis should get pulled over by the police right before the shoot. Bro, Keefy D is a smokescreen. Speak on newfound relevant information. So you think Keefy D had nothing to do with Tupac unaliving? You think that nigga just bluffing? Okay.
I know. What I was told, the people
But
that
why
was
in the
from New
hell?
York.
Why in the real? Listen here though. Why the first day in trial though? They put all them boys in that white Cadillac. I'm just wondering why they pull up a LAPD police car in trial. Y'all remember pre-trial where they had with Keefy D day one? Or it was real. It was pre-trial, real trial one on. Y'all remember that Cadillac they pulled up on the screen? I wonder why it was a regular Cadillac and it wasn't a police car. I'm sitting here trying to see. I don't know. That's kind of tricky. Yeah, from the car I seen on the screen, it was a white Cadillac. I ain't seen no police car they pulled up on the screen. I'm just be honest.
They was with Keefy D. So if that's what he want to do, he knows the burden of proof is on them. They're going to have to get somebody in there to say that Keefy D was at this place. Me and Keefy D ate lunch at this time. Keefy D is in this picture. This burden of proof is on them. He could say that. He could be confused about the time. It could be another. He's an older gentleman. He's suffering from certain things. He's had chemo treatment. He could forget. He could say this. He could say that. But the burden of proof is on the prosecution. They got to prove that he was there.
Somebody say the car wasn't there.
I would say the same damn thing.
The car don't matter.
Nah, I wasn't there. They would have to say, well, we got you in this picture right here. We got you at this hotel, and you signed this, you did that, you did. You understand what I'm saying? The burden of proof on the prosecution. It ain't on him. And for the people that don't know what you're referring to, when you say them people from New York, what do you mean by that? Well, it was Zip, a couple other people, Lil Daddy, and one of Zip's son, and I don't know for sure, but they was told that Foxy Brown was with them. I don't know that to be true. You know what I'm saying? But I know it was Zip, Lil Daddy, and his son, and there was some other people. They went one way while Keefy D was supposed to go and talk to Suge and Tupac and them about, because they heard Orlando had got jumped in the whole 9 yards. And you know for a fact that Von Zip, he was with Keefy D in Vegas. I know what I was told, you know what I'm saying, that night. Do you hear me? I was only told that night, bro. That same night, I was told that. And then when they came back from Vegas, they told us the story. So I can only go by what I was told. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. And the whole thing about it is, I said it way back then. I ain't said when this trial came up. I ain't said it 10 years ago. I ain't said 15 years ago. I said it over 20 plus years ago. And people was looking at me like I was stupid. Oh, yo, he lying, he this, he that. And then when it came out, even when Suge said somebody ran up to the car, I said, yo, I said that. Then Suge ended up saying it.
What did Suge say?
Suge said that somebody had ran up on the car that wasn't supposed to be up on the car. That's why they would want me to come testify. Because they want to put an association with Keefe D and Diddy.
Man, chill out.
And what they wanted Diddy at that time for is to, if Diddy be the scapegoat, you understand? Diddy would be their scapegoat, or why there was such thing called the East Coast West Coast War. Because if he
Listen, I did hear that Diddy did throw around that he had $1 million on Pac. Allegedly, he had $1 million on Pac and Biggie Head. Allegedly, I did hear that. I don't know how true that was. Let's go though.
Tupac killed, if he put up the money for Tupac to be killed, then it's easier for them to say that gangbangers, and it's easier for them to say that somebody associated with Death Row killed Biggie. You understand what I'm saying? So now we got to keep this going. So we got to use Keefe D and his association with Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, Brother Love, Puff, whatever his name is. We got to keep their association going along with each other. So that's why he was saying that they wanted Diddy. Because Miss Wallace had that $400 million lawsuit against the LAPD. So they wanted to implicate Diddy in that whole stuff with Keefe D so they can get out of that whole situation of that lawsuit.
Y'all think that true, game?
They want
Y'all think that true or not? Put a 1 in my chat if you agree. Put a 2 in the chat. Hell no, that's some bullshit. Y'all let me know, gang.
They want me to show that Keefe D and Diddy had a relationship. They want me to establish what I know about Keefe D and Puff.
Y'all gotta remember this the same dude. Y'all gotta remember Gene Deal is you seen Gene. He's seen everything. And y'all gotta remember this the same dude that used to go get Puffy butt plugs. Allegedly. Pause. Let's go.
With each other when they're around each other, gambling, laughing, drinking, popping bottles, the whole 9 yards. That's what they wanted me to do. The lawyer job is to get up there and make his client as innocent as he possibly can. Make him into a saint. Keefe D wasn't never no Crip. Keefe D stopped cripping when he was 17 years old.
Oh, so he said Keefe D never was no Crip. So he everything Keefe D done said is a lie then. Dang, that's crazy work. I mean, like I say, like I told y'all, I've been saying, I wasn't there that night. I wasn't in the car with them niggas. So I can't tell y'all really what happened. Can't tell y'all nothing what happened. Nothing. All I could do is go about what they said on the internet about Pac and Big. That's it. I wasn't there. And I know damn sure a lot of y'all wasn't there. In that case, would have been found out what happened to Pac. The way some of y'all is these days, shit. Would have been found out what happened to Pac. I believe y'all think we would have had the internet back then, gang. They would have found out what happened to Tupac. Do y'all think that? Do y'all think that they needed the internet and like more cameras, like more technology and shit? But y'all gotta think about it. They ain't really have technology like that back then. Man, they got cameras on stop signs, cameras on stop lights. Man, they got cameras everywhere now. If they would have had cameras and stuff back then, think about it, gang. This is crazy. That's crazy work, though. We still gonna be staying tuned with the trial. See if they gonna lock Big Dodo Bird up. Keefy D. Let's get into some of this Nolan Will, man. Yeah, we still gonna be watching and observing, and we're gonna see if Gene Deal testify. We're gonna see if he get on the stand.
From Miss Christine.
Christine
Called
see
me
a
up.
Big Bear
I'm thinking
get
it
on
was
the stand.
7:30ish, 7:45 that morning.
July the 4th.
Be early morning, July 5th. And basically, what she told me is that her son had gone out the day before that on the 4th with a bunch of his friends. That's key.
There was an initial request or an offering up of cadaver dogs to search one of the boats. I guess one of them that Nolan may have been on, and that was presented, and it was rejected by Benjamin Crump.
What I told the lead attorney was, I got the dogs, you get the permission. What she said was, we'll have to really think about it. We didn't understand that if there's no alert, that means nobody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, got an exclusive interview with an incredible guy. I was able to talk to him a few days ago and get a lot more information than I previously had. So I want you guys to help me welcome to the show Josh Gill. He's an incident commander for the United Cajun Navy. So Josh, welcome to the show. And I want you to give people a perspective of what the United Cajun Navy is, because when I first heard about this as it relates to the Nolan Wells case, I had no idea what the Cajun Navy was. At first I was like, is this a part of the Navy? And then I realized very quickly this may be a private organization that does good work. But can you explain to the audience what exactly is the United Cajun Navy and what's your job description in that?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for having me. United Cajun Navy, we're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. Easiest way to explain it is disaster response, relief, and recovery organization. So what I specialize in is search and rescue, search and recovery operations. I help find missing people. But outside of that, our organization does a lot of blue sky stuff. We do food drives. We do toy drive. Last year was close to 600,000 toys we handed out. So we really run the gamut from disasters and blue skies. Community involvement's the biggest thing, the easiest way to explain it.
That's awesome. And it's all volunteer work, or how does that work?
All volunteers, man. 100% volunteer.
Wow, that's incredible. And so as it relates to the Nolan Wells case, can you walk me through when you were first notified and what were the first few things that you did as a response?
Sure. So late that night, early Sunday morning, I received a Facebook Messenger call from somebody that had been noticing it on Facebook on what was going on with
Is this July the 4th?
In the post about.
Oh, July the 4th?
The early morning, July 5th.
Early morning, okay.
The 5th. So early morning there, and I started reading into it, right? There were some Facebook posts. Then I got a call. I got a call from Miss Christine. Christine called me up. I'm thinking it was 7:30ish, 7:45 that morning, and we discussed what was going on. So I asked a lot of questions, physical description, and I asked some hard questions, mental health crisis, any kind of habits, anything like that. And basically what she told me is that her son had gone out the day before that on the 4th with a bunch of his friends. That's key. With a bunch of his friends, and they were partying on Horn Island. It's a big. He didn't return home. So what from that phone conversation is I quickly say, hey, let's memorialize everything, right? I asked her to put it all to me in a text message. So from there, we communicated both in phone and on text. But if there was anything important that needed to be relayed, I wanted to make sure that I memorialized it, documented it, and I'd send a text message back. So starting that Sunday morning, the text messaging and communication started. My organization, we have a lot of volunteers in that area, and my vice president was there as well. And we started mobilizing people quickly to go out to Horn Island to start looking. We had some surface vessels, some boats, and drones.
Y'all check this out. If you need custom shirts, hats,
So
or gear,
they
she
have
got Pure Choice
boats
Apparel. You
and
can pick your
drones out
product,
there, bad
see the
boy.
prices up front,
Wait,
upload your logo, and preview the
God
designs
dang, now,
right on the
come
website.
on now. All right. That's
And check
enough.
us out today. And
That's
Miss
enough.
Christine, being Nolan's mother, did she mention to you at all that he had anything going on with mental illness or anything like that that you should be concerned with as you got on the search? Or did she say, hey, he's a my citizen, which is what I've heard, and everything was good. He didn't come home.
Absolutely. So she didn't say that there were any mental health crisis or any mental health issues going on, and explained to me about her son. Again, model citizen, great kid. Everybody's all-American, the guy everybody wanted to hang out with. Did say that he had been drinking the day before, but he was out with a bunch of his friends and didn't make it back home.
And the initial search effort, what did that look like? You said you guys had boats, you had the people in the air. Was there any people physically on the island? Were there people in the water? Can you explain, what that initial effort was?
Sure. So we had boats that were in the water, and we sent people to Horn Island with a drone as well to start looking at that area. So immediately around Horn Island, with surface vessels, what we call boats, as well as boots on the ground to start, the aerial search with drones. Now, I did reach out to the Coast Guard and ask them if they needed any air support as well. And they said that they had rotary wing in the air. I did have some fixed were available. They told me it was Jackson County Sheriff's Office, that it was their area and their jurisdiction, and they said they didn't need any additional aircraft. So we moved forward with the plan that we had with boats and boots on the ground there.
And while you guys were on the ground, in the water, did you see anything that was concerning? Did you see anything that was an indication of an altercation or any signs of Nolan or anything in that initial search?
That's what I'm saying.
None. None at all.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So,
why in the world it took 2 days? If they had all that out there, it took 2 days to find Nolan? God dang. Did he sink to the bottom or this crazy word? I don't know,
right?
man.
So we use social media. It's a huge tool. What we do is I'll make a video and have a missing persons poster, and I put that poster out. And we started to receive some phone calls and some messages. There were some people who said they may have seen him on land. This was later on Sunday, that they may have seen him in some of the surrounding municipalities. So again, not knowing what happened, not having any clue, we sent some people to check out those areas as well. But we continued our vessel search and our search in the water as well as on Horn Island. But moving forward from there is I started a very succinct operational plan to search later on in that next day that Jackson County Sheriff's Office was aware of.
Did you have any communication with Miss Christine after, you guys have done the search? I know you had initial communication when she asked for your help. And did you talk to her or communicate with her during the search or there right after the search?
Absolutely. We communicated all day. And I've got the text messages where we talked via text as well as where we spoke on the phone. So I kept her up to speed on what was going on, and she would feed me a little bit of information throughout the day. And again, it was in text. And as that search started to wind down, we again had another conversation. And I explained to her, hey, here's what's going on. As it starts to get dark and dusk comes in, we demobilize, and then we start planning for that next day.
And did you get any indication that she was concerned about race or it being a factor in this, or foul play or anything like that? When you first talked to her, because this is fresh, I don't think the media even had an understanding of how she felt being presented to them. You were one of the first people in this intimate time that she was searching for her son, had a chance to communicate with her. At this point, in your communication with her, was there any indication that she was concerned about a racial dynamic or any foul play, or was it just a mom looking for, trying to find out what happened to her son?
What's up, Slim Jones? Salute everybody.
It was a frantic mother worried about her child, and that's no indications of race, no indications of foul play. She reiterated a couple times, Brandon, that he went out with his friends. So it really made me believe that it was a cohesive unit, a group of guys who went out
Mm.
party on the 4th of July
So he
on
saying
Long
what
Island.
the mama
But
was
again,
saying.
no
Okay, so
initial.
do y'all see what he's saying? So at first, the mom was saying she ain't felt like it wasn't no signs of foul play at first. That's what it sounded like. What he's saying. That's what it sounded like to me. Let's go.
Accusations of foul play or anything to do with race. Not at all.
And so you guys concluded your search, I believe, the day that he was discovered. Did you guys discover him? Did law enforcement discover him? And then walk me through what happened next with notifying Miss Christine and the family.
Sure. So the next day is really key. That Monday morning, we were communicating back and forth, and I had a fixed wing that was going up. It's an airplane at about 6:30, 6:35 that morning, and I offered for her to go in the plane. I said, "Look, if you want to go up in the plane, the offer is there. I don't recommend it, but I need to at least express that offer to you and make it there for you." She declined that request, so I'm on my way there to the boat launch where the tactical operations center was.
Dang, so he said
at
you could
Mars
even
Lake.
go with me.
And she sent me a message that
Dang.
morning and said, "Where are we going to meet? As soon as we're done with the data dump on the phone, we'll meet
That's
up."
crazy. That's crazy. He even said he even told the mama, "You can go with me up here looking for him." And she wasn't even trying to get in no airplane though. Y'all know how a lot of people feel about helicopters. Y'all know how a lot of people feel about being in airplanes. A lot of people don't like riding on no damn airplane. I'm just being honest. Let's go though.
Meet up with you. So that made me believe that, hey, they were going to the police department, whatever it was, to do that data dump on the phone. And then we got the call, right? So somewhere, it was after there, I was 15, 20 minutes away from the boat launch. The sheriff's department called me, and then Christine called me right after that. They had obviously first notified Christine. But when she called me, I told her, hey, I'm 15 minutes out. Meet me at that boat launch. And we did. She met me there. When she pulled up, she came running to me, and it was one of those moments that you'll never forget. This was a grieving mother who knew in her heart that that was her son that had been found. Gave me a big hug, man, a big bear hug. Mr. Elmo was there, and we sat in the parking lot. We sat on the ground in that parking lot for 15, 20 minutes, and we were exchanging tears, if I could put it that way. It was a super emotional time. And I knew that that was probably the beginning of the hardest days of her life, right there sitting in that parking lot.
Wow. When you talked about the phone, did she indicate to you at any point that there was anything suspicious in the phone, or she just in, kind of a passing conversation that she mentioned she was going to send the phone to be downloaded? So did she mention anything other than the phone being downloaded to you about the cell phone, or whether or not she believed it was a crime committed in it or not?
So didn't say anything about a crime, but we did discuss the phone that Sunday. So the day before he was found, she called me up and we had a discussion about the phone. She said, hey, Josh, they want the phone. And she said she wasn't too comfortable with sending it to him or giving it or turning over the phone. And here's what I told her. I said, look, that phone was your son's phone, and you've got every right to turn it in and to video everything that they're doing with the phone. Be there for it. If you don't trust the process or some concerns, get your phone and video what they're doing. If you're concerned about losing data, there it is. She seemed to be comfortable with that when I told her that. Look, I'm not law enforcement whatsoever, but I know that she's going through a hard time, and I just wanted to let her know that every part of the step with anything that she has, for her to document that she's afraid of losing some of the data or the integrity of that data.
Right. So in the early stages of the phone, she did express, without any coercion whatsoever that you know of, that she believed that there may have been reason for her to turn that phone over.
Absolutely.
And then Nolan was recovered. You met with her. You guys exchanged tears and I guess sadness for Nolan, who was, from all accounts, an incredible young man. And then what happened next? Did you guys ever go to actually identify the body, or what happened after that?
So this is a key part, right? So she asked me to be a part when they go to the coroner's office. So they didn't bring his body to that location. They brought his body to a secondary location as the hospital, the coroner's office. So she asked me to be a part of it. Of course, yes, ma'am, anything I can do to help you. So we got in a convoy and we went that way. We went to the coroner's office, sat down at the table, It was myself, the family, Miss Christine, Miss Elmore, the coroner. I was right by her. Coroner comes in, and of course, it's difficult. It's a difficult conversation for anybody to have. I'm sure you're familiar with them. The coroner said, he believes that it's Nolan. 99.9% sure, whatever the stat was, but he still wanted to get a swab or get some DNA so they could double check. Said, according to the appearance in the photographs he's seen, it appeared to be Nolan. But he also said something very key, that there was no initial appearance of foul play. So to me, immediately what I thought was, no blunt force trauma, nothing visible right there, right? And obviously there needed to be a further investigation, but the coroner did say that. The questions were asked, just some, hey, can we see him, blah, 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 these things. But also the question I asked was, hey, Mr. Coroner, can you please explain the process of how it's going to move forward? It's just one of those things that the family needs to understand. And what he did was explain how they're going to move Nolan to the crime lab so they could fulfill all the autopsies and everything that way. I was not a part of identification of the body. We immediately left. So if at some point that evening later on, we went to their house after the coroner's office. If they went back to identify, I don't know. I wasn't, but the immediate meeting with the coroner's office, there was no identification by myself or the family that I was aware of.
And based on, at this point, from all of your engagement with the family and also with elements of law enforcement, did you have any concerns of impropriety? Meaning that you felt as if law enforcement would not handle the case appropriately in the involvement that you had?
So from the level of engagement that I saw, let's base it on initial level of engagement. They had a lot of people that were involved with the search, and then immediately after as well. I mean, I was communicating with the sheriff's department closely thereafter. I did not observe or have a feeling of any lack of engagement or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll get the lights up for me, gang. Double tap the screen for me.
I believe their level of engagement was appropriate.
Is we believing,
because they knew this case is under a microscope.
Listen,
everybody's out there watching. It's international.
Is everything like sounding believable, gang? Y'all let me know, gang. Cause somebody said that he looked like he reading off a script. Somebody said it in the chat. Somebody said earlier in the chat, say look like he reading off a script. Keep looking down. Y'all let me know, gang.
National news.
And I want to just ask you a personal opinion about this, because one of the elements that we've been trying to get out to the world is because this has turned into a racial dynamic. And just on your experience, I don't know how long have you been living in this area, or living in Mississippi around this Ocean Springs?
So I live in Louisiana, about an hour and 20 from Ocean Springs. All my life, 30 plus years. Getting old.
And you got big old great beard.
Right.
being in that area your whole life, or majority of your life, do you notice any real racial tension? And I say real, I'm saying just in your opinion, is there a element of racial tension in either the Louisiana area or near Horn Island and the Ocean Springs area that you have personally experienced?
So there's this perceived element of racial tension in the South, right? Let's call it the South as a whole. I personally have not had any or observed any gross racial tensions whatsoever prior to this. I think that this case has exacerbated there's been some outside influences that have exacerbated some racial tensions for whatever reason it is. We live in the South. Yes, there's a history and there's a past, and I understand that. But move forward with the way we're living, right? It's 2026. It's a difficult time, man. It's a difficult time in the South. It's a difficult time nationwide, right? But let me say this. Let me put this out there real quick, is that I 110% support Miss Christine and what she's doing. She's a grieving mother, and I've said this from day one. There's no rule book. There's no playbook on how she should act or what she should do. Find the truth and trying to find answers. There's a lot of outside influences pushing her in whichever way it is or however it is. But again, I support her. She's got to find the truth so she can start that grieving and healing process. there's some disgusting things that are out there, and we just need to be able to differentiate from that, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point because that's been a huge concern of mine of trying to figure out what's stimulating this. When I spoke to some of the young men that were being accused of killing Nolan, they were saying that that initially it didn't appear that there were issues between Miss Christine, the boys looking for Nolan, and then all of a sudden it seems to be an issue of race and accusations, and it's almost like the community begin to break down because it appears that even you being a volunteer for the Cajun Navy, being able to, and being white, being able to go with Elmore and Miss Christine, and you guys shared the same sentiment of looking out for what happened to Nolan, and then it seemed like it turned. And from my observation, it seems like when the attorney Benjamin Crump and others got involved, it seemed to turn more in a activist political direction than just the generic direction of, hey, a community coming together to find Nolan. Now that is my opinion. Now you had a closer experience in this because you were in communication with Miss Christine and all of the above. What is your take on how this has played out since the very first time you got involved?
I don't necessarily disagree with your opinion. Okay. I've seen the communications with Christine and her
William.
family dwindle
Salute everybody
down
here, man. What's up, William?
the hiring or
Y'all get the lights up, gang.
Mr. Crump. Now,
Everybody double
again,
tap.
I want to make sure
Everybody
that
double tap the
everybody
screen. Hit
understands
that
I'm going to
sub
give the
button.
family the respective space that they need. And I will send them motivational messages. Just today I sent one, hey, Miss Christine, I know today's a tough day. It's your son's birthday. Just know that I'm here for
Hit
you.
the like and hit that
110%
sub
if you
button
need
for
a
me,
shoulder
gang.
to cry on, somebody to call, whatever it is, I'm here. Got to thank you, which is all I expected. But what I did was watch lengthy communications turn into emojis or the little heart and then thank yous. And it's fine. It's the natural progression of the way the relationship was. But I do feel that outside influence had something to do with it.
What's up?
Without a doubt.
What
And
is
that's
it?
my opinion.
What's up, Smith?
Right? So
What is
it's
Shamika?
unfortunate. A young man
What's
lost
up,
his
Shamika
life.
Smith?
And
What's
there's
up,
there's
Reginald?
this
Everybody,
issue with the
salute
cadaver
everybody,
dog.
man.
I don't know the full details of this, but I'm under the assumption, I hope you can clarify this for me, is that there was an initial request or an offering up of cadaver dogs to search one of the boats, I guess one of them that Nolan may have been on, and that was presented and it was rejected by Benjamin Crump. Are you associated with that, or can you explain that? Do you have more information than I do about this?
Sure. So I was the one who offered the cadaver dogs.
Oh, okay.
I had a conversation with the lead attorney. I had a conversation with the lead attorney, Liza Park. I'd been trying to reach him for a couple of days, and I left message. Couldn't do it. I asked Christine, give me a phone number. I need to talk to somebody. So I sent a text message on, I believe it was the 13th, got a read, no response. And I called that next day on the 14th, had about a 24-minute conversation, but I offered up the services of the cadaver dogs, right? So these are human remain detection dogs. And I told him, I said, hey, look, I've offered them to the sheriff's department, but I'm offering the service to you as well. And here's how it plays out. Those dogs can go to the boat. They can do a search on that boat. And if they alert on that vessel, and they alert as they're working to smell for a cadaver, there's more than likely a pretty big chance that there was a body on that boat. But if they don't alert, it's just the inverse. There may not, and it's a pretty good chance that there wasn't one on there. She explained the concern about them cleaning the vessel. I can pretty much guarantee they didn't clean the vessel with the necessary chemicals or the process that needs to be cleaned. And then that was reconfirmed when I went and spoke to the young men as well, because they told me how they cleaned the boat. And they said, man, Josh, all we did was spray it down with fresh water, because that's a common practice whenever you remove a vessel from salt water. Just spray it down, get the solvent, and go there. But what I told the lead attorney was, if you would like these services, we'll provide the resource, we'll provide the dogs. You're going to have to get the permission. If it's a warrant, if it's you just asking for permission to look at that vessel, that's on you, not on us. I've got the dogs. You get the permission. What she said was, we'll have to really think about it. We didn't understand that if there's no alert, that means nobody. So
That's pretty. I mean, what do you take about? I mean, what do you think about that? Was that when she said that? Was that suspicious to you, or was it just maybe somebody that don't understand how this process works, or how did you feel about that? And it's just an opinion or a hunch of how you felt. Because when you said it just now to me, it's kind of weird that you're looking for Nolan. If I was Nolan's friend, I mean, I don't even know Nolan. Knowing what I know about Nolan right now, there is no stone that would be left unturned for me. And so with the cadaver dog potential, how did you interpret that?
So I interpreted it as there were concerns that the dog wouldn't alert. That was my interpretation. No alert, no body, right? So of concern because they were looking to try and find the last location of Nolan. Yeah, it was a red flag. But here's what else I said. When I gave her a little piece of advice, me not being an attorney, but just a common sense kind of guy, I said, why don't you ask the family, because I can't give you permission to search your boat. Why don't you ask the people who own the boat, say, hey, we want to run a cadaver dog on it. If they say, sure, no problem, that'll tell you something. But if they say no, heck, right? So we never were returned. I never personally got an email or a call back. Hey, let's use those dogs. They could have went out somewhere else and used some other dogs. The conversation was that. But I will say this. 2 weeks later, the sheriff, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, did ask me to bring some cadaver dogs for another case that's in Ocean Springs. So they're fully aware of our capabilities and they utilize us with those resources. So there's the cadaver dog story for you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I just wonder, is there anything else that you have noticed? Because you live out there, you've been involved in this case. I'm sure you hear, grumblings from people all around with theories and some conspiracy theories. Some people are out of their minds on social media, and some people may have some interesting information. Is there anything else that you know of that you'd like to add and you want the world to know about your involvement of things that you've been able to be privy to out at Horn Island or even back on land?
Sure, and I've been to Horn Island many times, been out there for July 4th in years past. Here's a couple things I want to get very clear with people. Number one, I support Christine. Our organization supports Christine. Number two, the threats and the vitriolic rhetoric, it needs to stop, man. The threats, it's not healthy for the environment. It's not healthy for what's going on. These young boys are taking a beating with threats. It's not good. Next thing is, social media is a great tool. It can be your best friend, but it can be your worst enemy from time to time. Let's just watch what we say. So you're watching, people are looking, the mama Christine's looking at social media, the boys are looking at social media. These people have to move on with their lives. With all these crazy cockamamie stories, one lady said, he could have been dismembered and put in a fish box and put it back on the island. Come on, man. Let's use our noggin, not just to hold a hat on top of it, but let's use our head, right?
Lose your head. Lose your head. He's saying. He's saying all that BS y'all saying and thinking, it never happened. It never happened. So y'all can quit with the BS. It never happened, gang. So quit it. He said y'all quit it with the BS. That's what he's saying.
There's problems.
Quit it.
There's racial tensions. Granted, got it. Let's be driven by love and let's not be driven by anger. Because when we're driven by anger, we make bad decisions. And I think we need to start making some good decisions in what we do and what we say.
I love that. I appreciate you, Josh. What ways can people who are watching
Sure.
All right. That's enough. That's enough. Ain't doing no promo over here. Let's listen to this this interview right here from the parents with your boy Nolan.
Roller coaster of emotions. You have amount of grace.
Brian, the ones Stop Six that he been talking about. This is the interview.
In rage.
This is the interview I think Stop Six is mad about. Yeah, I think this is the interview Stop Six is mad about. Hold on. Wait. Oh man. Wait. 1 minute. Yeah. No, I thought that was coming back like they would like they did the other night. Man, they came here the other night and just scrubbed my chat. No cap.
And so, as a black man and as a black father, I wanted to first salute you and thank you for being a role model for many of us who have had to navigate and wrestle how to respond to situations that we couldn't control. I wanted to ask you, as a man, how have you been processing this?
Well, first of all, I also thank you for my wife because everything that you mentioned, I've been there. I was at that point, but she kept me grounded, and like I said, I owe so much to her for just keeping me at bay. But every day is a challenge. For me, knowing that my son is not here, I won't be able to see him anymore.
Yeah.
I go through old text messages, old videos, just memories. The last day that I spoke to him, and I break.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do that in my own personal space.
Yeah.
Because I know I have to be that person to
Is y'all, is he
for
is he
her
the real
and
daddy
my family.
or the stepdaddy?
So I'm
Y'all let me
working
know. Is he the real
kind
daddy or
of
the
like a
stepdaddy?
two-sided sword in a sense, and I'm trying my best to keep it as level as possible. But it's hard,
I can imagine.
So we have each other.
Yeah, we have each other,
And that's the I would say that's probably what's grounded us in a sense. Because I know early on when there was so much
Somebody
anger
said step.
and
Okay.
emotions were high, I literally was like, look, if you allow that anger to consume you,
Yeah.
and if you act out irrationally, even for a moment, because we're hurting so bad, I was like, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can't lay our child to rest, still wear the hats we have to wear as adults and parents.
Yeah.
And then, like, I can't be by myself. So I want to say thank you.
It's beautiful.
for hearing me.
Wow.
Because I know how hard it's been for you. I know people have kind of focused in on me, but
Yeah.
I always say he's grieving just as much
That's
as
right.
I am. That was just as much his child
Yes.
as it was mine.
Let me ask you on a lighter note, because you all's connection and energy is so strong. How'd y'all meet? That's what we want to know. I don't know if y'all old
gosh.
enough to remember this show, Love Connection.
Yes.
What's your verse of mine?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was working at a cell phone store, and I was doing our weekly special for the cell phones.
Yes.
And so it was just me and my manager up front. So initially when he came in, she's like, "Hey, how you doing? What can I help you with?" And so at some point it was, "Hey, Christine, can you come? And I'm like, "No, I am busy.
Right.
I am drawing out our board." And she's just like, "Girl, get over here." And so we started talking, and I was telling him just a little bit, about myself and kind of where I was mentally at that time. I've gone through a lot
Yeah.
in my life, a lot more than people my age probably have gone through.
Yeah.
And so in that time, I was
Wait,
in
gang.
the phase of rebuilding.
I almost
Okay.
put somebody in timeout just then for what I saw in the chat. Somebody said Michael Karmelo Myers. But that was funny. I almost bust out just then. But let's go. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I ain't gonna count. Shout out. I'm watching the chat. Just know that. Let's go.
And really just putting that trust back in God and working on that relationship. And so, you know, I told him, I was like, hey, not looking for anything. Like,
Right.
I need to work on me.
That's beautiful.
And we just became friends. But the friendship, just in a short period of time, that connection was undeniable. But, you know, we allowed it to grow, and we fostered it, and we nurtured that. And of course, just like any
So since y'all met in the phone store, you got that code early. You was able to get in that back room pretty quick. You had to make sure who was in the top 5 faves. Like, hey, I'm able to get into the storage unit real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your version of the story?
yeah, what is
Sorry, it's similar there, but when I walked into the store, she did not want to help me.
She did not?
No, she was like she said she was off and on word doing whatever she was doing. But yeah, she did not want to help me. And then but I always mess with her, and say like, well, if you didn't help me that day, we wouldn't be here today. And she was like, yeah, you're right. So, but yeah, she didn't want to help me at all, man.
I was busy.
You were a reluctant servant.
I was
God was setting you up.
I did not. And you know, it's so funny, as I always tell him, he still has the card that has my personal. I never gave my personal cell number out.
I still got that card.
Yeah, still has that card. And to this day, I'm like, you know.
The people want to know, did you have an iPhone or an Android?
Then there was a Nextel.
Oh my God. Y'all been together a long time.
Yeah.
The story is, I had just moved back home because I was living up here
In Atlanta.
in Decatur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used to train for a little while at the gym across the street when I was
No
training
way.
for, NFL. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So are both of you from Mississippi?
Yes.
I'm technically not.
Oh, did you graduate from high school in Mississippi?
I did. I always like to joke and say I'm a transplant. So I was born in the Philippines. That's where my mom's family is from. But my father's family is from Mississippi.
Okay.
And so, but I've been here long enough. But I always like to say I'm a transplant.
No, I got it. I wanted to ask, because people have a different perspective of Mississippi historically, and not in actuality.
Yeah.
And so when we hear about Mississippi, my head is going directly to Mississippi burning. I'm going to turn left and deal with Medgar Evers. I'm going to turn right and deal with Emmett Till. And I wanted to ask, in 2026, what is it like being Black living in Mississippi?
I would say that you would hope that in 2026, right? You would hope that racially things would improve.
Yeah.
And this is where I find, because I personally love history.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite subjects. But when you have a state like Mississippi that has such a complex history, especially when we start talking about race, it's one of those things you cannot forget, right? But that's also why it's important to teach actual history. So then we know, okay, where are we going from here?
Yeah.
How can we improve things? Because when we try to simply just remove things or not think about it, and that's a whole other issue, is because it doesn't affect me, I don't worry about that.
Yes.
But that's the thing, when in the Bible, when it says love thy neighbor, right? That's how you love your neighbor, truly, is being concerned about their well-being, their health, things that they need.
Yeah.
So in a state like Mississippi that has the history it has, sometimes, you know, you don't want to think negatively, right? you always want to, and maybe this is just the way I was raised.
Yeah.
You want to try to be positive and see the good in things, but there's always that little part of you that's like, I really hope this isn't what I know it could potentially be.
Right.
And so in raising our children, you know, we were very open and honest about those things, especially because the way I was raised. So my mother's Filipino, but my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she is half white.
Oh, wow.
So now that I'm kind of getting this blowback and people are saying, oh, you're racist. I'm like, well, first of all, do you understand the definition of racism
Yeah.
and what comes with that? But then two, again, you know, I was raised that, you know, hey, and this is a Mississippi, so, you
Yeah.
know, the Bible thumpers.
Yes.
Heavy into church when we were younger. And it was always one of those, you know, love and show respect until that person shows you otherwise. But also to having that discernment.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when you're building relationships, right? You can't just take that person for face value. You have to understand who they are, not just, you know, on the outside, but spiritually. Like, where are they at? And those are the things that he and I have tried to teach our kids. We've instilled in our children. But of course, when children get older, you know, they're going to make their own decisions. But it's the hope that they're always going to do what's best for them.
Yeah. You all have how many children?
So we have 6 children.
6. The youngest is
children.
how?
They got 6 children. Okay?
15.
The youngest is 15.
Walk me through, because so much of
6
the focus
children.
has been on the 2 of you. And people are not really seeing that this is not just a son,
Yeah,
it's also a brother.
absolutely.
And so walk us through how the siblings are dealing with this, not just in the grief, but because they are of age, continue with social media.
Everybody double tap that screen, hit the sub button, gang.
Pull that back.
Y'all get it to 100 likes. We only at 39 likes.
Because in passing,
Double tap
like, you
the
know,
screen.
of course, we kind of see little comments, and a lot of people are like, well, what about the siblings? You guys don't ever, but this is the thing, and that's done, you know, intentionally.
Yeah.
Our goal
We
is
ain't
to
got
always
no super
protect
chats or
them,
no gifts.
even
We
though
in here
3
an
of
hour,
them
gang. Turn
are
me up.
adults.
Yeah.
We still want to provide that protection.
That's great.
They try to stay away from social media.
Yeah.
One of our kiddos is in therapy, the oldest.
Yeah.
Is in therapy and kind of just dealing with those emotions because, again, they lost a brother. That wasn't just their brother. That was their friend. That was the person, you know, that kept some of their secrets, you know.
How's it been for the youngest going back to school? You know, so it's one thing to be able to.
So for them, we've, you know, one question we ask, but we don't ask like every day is, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
I like to ask, is there something we can do?
Yeah.
Is there some place we can take you? Is there something you need us to get for you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes simply just asking, are you okay? Or how are you feeling? Because children at that age, they can't always fully express themselves verbally on what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So, you know, asking what can we do for you sometimes is a little bit better because that gives them an outlet. But I'm gonna let Mo answer.
Come on, Mo.
As far as the youngest, he's been busy. So school has started.
Yeah.
They're practicing early in the morning, so that keeps them busy. So school and football is keeping them busy, and he's more focused now because over the summer, him and Nolan, their bond got stronger because they both play the same position, receiver.
Yeah.
So Nolan was teaching him stuff, and he was understanding the things that he was teaching him to get better. So his focus has gotten laser sharp. He really wants to do good, not just for himself, but to make his brother proud. And he's constantly telling his mom that I'm gonna do it for you and you guys in Nolan. So he's really focused on I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna be great.
No,
Like
absolutely.
I said, it's this fire inside of him that burns, that he wants to be the best. He wants to be better than his brother, but that's kind of like iron sharpens iron.
No, it's,
You know, the competition makes them better. And with this
you
happening,
play sports?
yes, sir. I played football all my life. Actually, I was told that when I was born, I was tossed through the house like football.
Yeah.
You know, because all my uncles played, and they just kind of tossed me around the house. My mom playing kids. So, I've been playing football all my life. Just kind of following the family tradition. I had 3 uncles play in the NFL, so you know I didn't make it to the NFL. I went to some camps and everything, but the knowledge that I learned, I was passing it down to my kids,
No,
so they'll have a better chance because I didn't have no one there telling them do this, do this, do this. I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
But with me, I was passing what I learned over the years down to them to better their chances.
That's beautiful. I think the only thing that has outraged me more than this tragedy itself is the treatment of you.
Yes.
I'm dizzied by it. So that, I mean, it's compounding the pain.
Yeah.
To have 1, the loss of a child, 2, to be thrust into cameras on a daily basis. You know, people got an attitude: if you eat ice cream, how dare you eat ice cream?
How
now?
dare I go to the store?
Yeah.
How dare I smile?
Right.
Yeah. And I wanted to jump around for just a moment and talk about how this is impacting you professionally, outside of just being a parent. Now everybody is on Yelp giving nurse reviews. I don't even know where this has come from.
It's
When you first saw it, what was going through your mind?
it's funny because, and this is what I mean by discernment.
Yes.
I have always been someone who was just very in tune, not just with myself, but people, situations. And that night before it hit the internet, we were in bed. And I was like, they're going to come for my career.
You said that.
I told them, I was like, they're going to come for my career. I don't know if it is going to be now, in a few weeks, in a few months. I said, but I'm telling you, they are going to come for my career. And when I say they, I'm not talking about any specific group of people, just people who don't like the fact that we are just wanting answers.
Yes.
We're just wanting the truth.
Can you imagine to be insulted that you want answers and closure about your son?
I say it all the time. All we did was ask a question.
Yes.
We asked a question that any good, loving, caring parent or parents would ask if something like this happened. I would hope, and I have said this every interview, press conference, I would hope that, God forbid, if you were in this situation, that you would ask the same question. You would want to know, because when you are left with your child is gone,
Yes.
we can't answer what happened, when did it happen. We can't answer any of these questions. It's hard to cycle through the stages of grief, and you get stuck.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's all we did was ask a question. And I have, really just tried to mentally, but you can't mentally prepare yourself for any of this, because at the end of the day, and I've said it before, we didn't ask for this.
Yeah, shock and awe.
We did not ask to lose our child. We have not asked for people. Let me say this. We have not begged, because that's another thing. We have not begged anyone to donate to the GoFundMe. What we have said is that if you can, great. Thank you. We appreciate it, because what people don't understand is situations like this there's so much that comes with it. Elmore and I have not been to work since early July.
Yeah.
That first week, we've not been to work. And I'm going to be honest with you, the profession that I have sometimes is emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
So now I have to kind of sit within myself and be like, okay, are we really ready for this? Are we ready to go back to that life? But it's been that hurt.
No,
Seeing it.
I
that
can't
hurt.
imagine. Mo, I'm scrolling through Instagram the other week,
All right, all
and they
right.
even created AIs of you buying sports cars.
Oh my, we just bought that.
Right.
I was like, what? That doesn't even look. No, I'm happy with my little car. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
But the intentionality of wickedness
No, absolutely. It's
to give
disgusting.
a bad portrayal is something I've never seen
No.
at this level and at this height. And the end game, I think, is just intimidation.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times when you hear cyberbullying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's middle schoolers. So cyberbullying is in high school,
Mm-hmm.
but not for adults
Yeah.
who are grieving.
And I've never cases where that, and we were just talking about this. Cases similar to ours, I've never seen this. I've never seen that, and it's the cyberbullying component of it.
Yeah.
And so, and I hate to say it, but it's so sad. Like sometimes it takes you. It takes you to a place. And so as I'm sitting here experiencing this, I think about kids.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly in our community. Her name was Aubrey Wyatt. I think about those situations and I'm like, my God, I feel like sometimes I'm barely holding on. This, just thinking from a child's perspective who hasn't been through life, who hasn't been through anything, to know that they would have to endure something like this because this stuff is taught. You're not and that's why as parents we have to be careful because you guys, this is not cool. Bullying other people. If you have children, your children are gonna see this at some point.
Oh no, for sure.
And then that carries over to, how they're gonna behave and how they're gonna treat others.
Yeah. What I lost my mother almost 2 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
And as a pastor, I had to wrestle with why God allowed in his permissive will. My mother worked in church her whole life. She wanted a prayer through, take it to my mother. Yeah. And then you add to that, my mother passed 45 days before my wedding.
Oh.
And I cried at my wedding. I told my wife, I have one side of my face with tears of I'm happy about getting married. The other side of my face, I'm crying because I looked on that front row and my mother wasn't there. Tell me about how your prayer life has been. How are you talking to God and what are you saying to God in these moments of trying to keep your faith and trying to keep your focus and trying to...
Wait, gang. Let's get into this. This right here, gang. I see a lot of people been talking about Karmelo Anthony. Let's get into this right quick. We'll get into it. You want to get into it? Let's do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's see. Yeah, I see y'all been talking. I just been sitting back watching. That's all. Y'all keep saying Karmelo Anthony this, Karmelo Anthony that. Let's dive into it.
reviews. You must be 21
Let's
and
dive
over
into it,
to drink.
then.
Make sure you drink responsibly.
Let's dive into
And
it,
go look at the
gang.
reviews.
Let's dive into it. Hold on, wait.
All right, so y'all see it, which I really think.
When the heck? When the really did that? Y'all really want to get into the Nolan Wills, don't it? Okay. I meant Karmelo Anthony. That's what I meant. My fault, gang. Let's get to the Karmelo Anthony right quick. Because y'all kept saying this, saying that. This happened, that happened. Let's get into it, gang. Let's just dive into it. Y'all ready? Let's go.
There is a lawsuit and a pursuit of a lawsuit against him for
Let's
defamation
go.
against Warren, Jax, and Morgan. And I don't want to hear none of y'all say that they just asking questions. No, they have put out false information with no evidence against these young boys. And let me tell you this, and I want everybody to be very clear about this. The days of
we saw that.
hoodwinking,
We saw that already.
the days of bludgeoning
We saw
white
that
people,
already, gang.
accusing them of things they didn't do.
Let's go.
Cell phones, all of us would be in trouble.
Y'all kept talking about Karmelo
none of
Anthony,
what I've
Karmelo
ever
Anthony.
done
Here we go.
in part,
Let's go.
for the most part, has escalated to this point. I have never said or did anything
Hold on,
overtly
wait,
racist like Austin Metcalf has done, him and his brother.
Austin Metcalf.
I've never bullied anybody. And I've never brought a gun to a school like Karmelo Anthony has and threatened to kill people and all that, shoot up the school and all this old crazy stuff. Both of these boys are wrong. Both of these boys were terrible. But I will explain to you why only one of them has to be concerned about their behavior when it comes to the court of law, when it comes to a trial, and when it comes to sentencing. Let's start out with the shameful things and the ignorant and embarrassing things that Austin Metcalf represented. Roll the clip.
There were chants and cheers outside the Collin County Courthouse this evening when the hearing over whether Karmelo Anthony should get a new trial wrapped up its first day. A day when evidence was presented showing Austin Metcalf's disturbing record of fights, bullying, and racist behavior.
Time out. Now let's put this in perspective. This is where the rubber hits the road. Will you see people that support Austin Metcalf post or talk about Austin Metcalf's poor behavior? Will you see it? And also the people that support Karmelo Anthony, will you see any of them post or talk about Karmelo Anthony's poor behavior? That is the litmus test for people who are genuine and authentic in these cases. And that's why you guys follow me, because I'm going to show it all. Roll it.
Karmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." at a previous track meet when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, behind our bench was talking wild. Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 revealed that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
Now, like I said at the very beginning, I have no dog in this fight. I don't know none of these kids or their families or anything. When I got this information about the way that Austin Metcalf was acting, it is just shameful. Metcalf, and it speaks to his parenting, that his parents failed him in part by not raising a young man that would not have a history of a crazy, somewhat criminal behavior. It is a shame. It is terrible. And I wish that you had Austin Metcalf on here while I was saying this. Joe, can you switch it to Austin Metcalf?
But the never before...
Lord, prepare me. I'm saying that the picture, let me explain this. While I'm talking about Austin Metcalf and I'm saying these things about him, it would be good to have a picture of him. So I'm talking about him because I have Karmelo Anthony and I'm talking about Austin Metcalf and I'm bashing, it's a mix-up. So, okay. We're live, so I can't undo that, but what I can do is just explain it. Austin Metcalf was wrong. I want this to be clear. Austin Metcalf was a terrible young man growing up. I don't know what he was at the end of his life, but it does seem like he was a troubled young man making terribly poor decisions. He seemed to be a violent young man with a terrible attitude. That's what I have captured from what has been presented about Austin Metcalf. Now, does that mean he deserved to die? No, that's up to God to decide who deserves to die or not. But I'm going to get to the criminal element of this after we talk about Karmelo Anthony. Because Karmelo Anthony it's actually worse. When I heard what happened to Austin Metcalf, I said, oh, that kid is terrible. Karmelo Anthony, I didn't think he was really that bad. I thought he was an ignorant young boy with hatred in his mind and made a impulse decision to kill Austin Metcalf on that day, not realizing that he was worse. He don't look to me like he did none of this stuff that I'm about to show you. Roll the clip.
But the never-before-released details of Anthony's early years in Louisiana, up to the day of his arrest for murder, are also disturbing. On the day that Karmelo Anthony would fatally stab Austin Metcalf, prosecutors say he sent this text message at 1 a.m., which said, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized it. Later in the morning, on April 2nd, 2025, and hours before Anthony would kill Metcalf with a knife at a high school track meet, prosecutors say Anthony's girlfriend reported to a Centennial High School staff member that Anthony was engaging in stalking behavior, to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship. Also, in the 75-page filing, prosecutors say Anthony had previously been accused of stealing his girlfriend's phone, and in October 2024, wrote a to-do list for his girlfriend about how to deal with, quote, weirdos, which included the line, "Say some slick, like my boyfriend, kill people." There are also text messages where he admits on at least 2 occasions to punching girls in the face.
50 more likes.
Prosecutors
50 more
also
likes, we'll
found
be at
text
100 likes,
messages from
gang. Let's get to
2021
100.
between Anthony and another student about robbing someone of $300.
Hit that sub button.
There are also text messages where Anthony talks about a fight and punching someone so hard he had to stop fighting. In 2023, prosecutors say he was going to vandalize someone's house in Austin, saying, quote, "I just feel like it. I got a grudge." In 2021, Anthony told a friend he had been suspended from school for 3 days for fighting, saying, quote, "They said next time I do some, I get recommended for expulsion." In a text conversation with a friend in 2023, prosecutors have messages from Anthony where he wrote, "I'ma shoot the school up tomorrow with my blick," but later sends messages saying, "I would never actually do that." In a 2024 text thread, prosecutors say Anthony admitted to carrying a firearm, telling a friend before a party that he would have the gun in his pocket. There are other message threads where Anthony also mentions carrying a gun.
If you thought that was bad, it gets worse. And I'm going to be fair about this because I had got in trouble when I was young. I got in trouble in high school. I got kicked out of school. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to give both of these boys a little bit of leeway. And I'm going to talk about how this affects the trial or not. We got one more, and it gets worse for Karmelo Anthony. Roll it.
After numerous suspensions for fighting while attending school in Louisiana, there were messages between Anthony and his girlfriend after he moved to Frisco. In one message thread, she suggests he should sit for a while, and he replied, "Yeah, and punch people, maybe run sometimes. I have to. It's like a priority for me. I like punching people. When I get mad, I see red. When I get mad, I black out. When I get mad, I can't control myself." Prosecutors also produced messages where Anthony admits to getting high and drinking alcohol, and even talking about selling drugs to get guns. In 2024, prosecutors say Anthony even attempted to assault a teacher, saying, "I put my hands and face and everything." Also in 2024, messages obtained by prosecutors suggest Anthony tried to bring a weapon into the State Fair of Texas, asking a friend if the State Fair got metal detectors. When he was told yes, his friend responded, "You got the poker?" "Yeah, I might have to toss it," replied Anthony. Prosecutors say Anthony admitted to stealing a watch and earbuds in separate burglaries in Collin County, and also to bringing a weapon onto a Frisco school campus, saying this about his girlfriend: "She went in my bag to get my computer, and I said no, and she still went in it and grabbed it, and my gun and my knife and some other stuff fell out." There are numerous unreleased photos and videos of Anthony holding firearms and making threats, and authorities found a note on Anthony's phone with a long list of disturbing racial tropes and slurs about blacks, whites, and Hispanics. In one message thread, prosecutors say Anthony wrote, "I hate gay people." Prosecutors say Anthony repeatedly threatened to murder his girlfriend in text messages, some of them saying, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?" and "I'm going to get you," expletive. He also threatened her with a knife in one message and told her in another, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade."
Now,
That's
let's
crazy
put this in
work.
perspective.
That's crazy work,
Kids
gang.
are stew heads. They say
That's
crazy
crazy work.
stuff.
I ain't gonna cap.
All of you guys, if you want to be honest, we've all said
I see
crazy
why they
stuff, and
denied
we all
his
did all
damn
that stuff.
retrial.
We just didn't have cell phones, right? We just didn't have
No.
evidence of somebody going and looking at your cell phone.
No. We ain't finna sit here just past that like we don't know what the hell going on. I see why they denied the retrial. If we know this, you don't think they been looked at this? We might be just finding out about it, but y'all don't think they looked at both of them boys' history? And guess what? You can't do that to Austin. Austin gone. Man, this is crazy. Man, this is crazy work. I'm just be honest, gang. This is crazy
Cell phone.
work.
Some of y'all have threatened people and did all this. However, I can say these boys on another level, especially Karmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf seemed like a troubled kid. Karmelo Anthony seems like a kid that would end up going to prison forever. He brought a gun. He tried to bring a gun into the fair. Now, I'm trying to be fair. I don't want to compare the two, but like I got to be honest. Like Karmelo Anthony's was a little worse. Talking and getting suspended, cussing at people, yelling at people, getting suspended over that, fighting in the school. Okay, when you start bringing guns into school and you start threatening to kill people, you bring a gun into the school. Not Austin Metcalf got suspended because they talked about it. Karmelo Anthony brought a gun into the school. At least that's what he said on the message. And he's flashing guns and stuff in his pictures. Now, let me tell you what this, and let me give you my own personal experience. Because I don't want to act like I'm holier than thou. I got kicked out of school my senior year. Ended up having to go to alternative school, which changed my life, to be honest. And what did Brandon Tatum do? I tried to fight my teacher, and it was a female teacher. She was wrong. They ended up firing her, but pretty much what happened is I had a bad attitude, man. I had a bad attitude. You say the wrong thing to me, I feel pushed in the corner. I'm flashing out on people. And I did it that day. I had been late to class. It was my senior year. I needed that one class to graduate, and the woman was picking on me. Now, some of it was my fault because if I'm on time, then nobody can pick on me. I had one more chance, and if I was late one more time, I would have failed that class and not be able to go to college. I get there on time. My friend is sitting in the doorway with the teacher. She's looking at me. He's in the doorway. The bell rings. She's standing in the doorway with him. She's looking at me. I'm standing there 2 or 3 minutes before the bell rings. I'm letting her finish her conversation with my homeboy that's in the doorway with her. As soon as the bell rings, he walks out. She pulls the door shut on me, which would essentially make me fail the class. So I got mad. I walk away. My homeboy Fish came up to me and said, "Bro, what's wrong?" And then I lost it. I was cussing and screaming and acting a fool. I grabbed the chair and threw it at the door. She opened the door. I tried to fight her, but my homeboy was holding me back. They kicked me out of school for that.
Damn.
I went to alternative school.
That boy got kicked out of school for fighting a woman. That was crazy. Well, you know what? Let's get back to it. I ain't gonna get into it.
Where I had to wear a uniform every day and wake up at 6 a.m. and you had the little pencils like this with no eraser. I'm glad it happened to me because I needed a wake-up call. And that changed everything about me. My daddy ended up getting them to appeal it, so they brought me back to school so I could run track. The University of Arizona still accepted me my scholarship, even though I got kicked out of the school. And so I'm not acting like it's foreign to me to do stupid stuff. I got suspended. My girlfriend, my senior year, while I had a scholarship, my girlfriend gets into a fight with a dude. She called me crying at lunch. I drive back to the school, threatened to fight this dude. They kicked me out of school. Come to find out she won the fight. So anyway, I did a lot of crazy stuff. I stole stuff. I did stuff when I was young.
So you would just fight women? I'm saying, so he just kept fighting women back to back, get in trouble for fighting women. I rock with Stop 6. I ain't gonna count. I ain't trying to put no slander on their name or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, God dang, bro. All women? All women. I don't know. But let's go, though.
And so I'm not trying to judge these boys, but what I will say is that I just would encourage young men not to act this way. And when it comes to the trial, the person that's going to be affected the most is going to be Karmelo Anthony in this situation. Because although Austin Metcalf had all that stuff, what did he do the day of? The day of, witnesses said that he wasn't the aggressor. He told Karmelo Anthony to leave. He refused to leave. Karmelo Anthony, using deadly force against him, stabbed him in the chest and killed him. So even though jurors may be able to hear that Austin Metcalf was doing all this, they hear Karmelo Anthony was just as bad. So it ended up being a moot point to a jury. And you end up killing a guy, and the letter of the law says you cannot kill a person and use deadly force against a person unless you have serious bodily injury or threat of serious bodily injury or death. All of the witnesses say that wasn't occurring when Austin Metcalf was stabbed. I think it's a risk trying to get a retrial because 35 years ain't that bad when he could have gotten life. I'm just saying. All right, last thing before I got to get up out of here is that this guy, Elliot Connie, you know, they love to talk about me and do things like this because I make them famous, and I get it. I get it. You know, I make these people famous. I'm their biggest draw on their channels. But one thing I do not accept is people lying about me. And so this guy, I'm going to play the clip. I wrote about this in my book. So what the accusation that he's making against me, which he has no research and done no work to figure out if this is true or not, he accused me of lying about me getting arrested when I was 8 years old and when we were smoking weed with my cousin them in the vacant house. Listen to what he said. Not only is he claiming that I lied on his show, He's claiming I lied in my book because I wrote this in my book too. Roll the clip.
When former Officer Brandon Tatum was on my show, he made a wild claim about his own marijuana use. Watch this video and then stick around because I'm going to talk to you about the truth behind this claim.
The truth. The truth, y'all.
Was there a particular moment, or was it an evolution where you were just like, the Republican ideals seem to be more in line with me and who I am?
Well, it was an evolution because I grew up, and I would say when I was growing up, I was racist. I didn't really like white people like that. We never was around white people. And I had a very negative connotation. I didn't like police officers. First time I got an interaction with a police officer, I was 8. I got arrested for smoking weed in a vacant house with my cousins. And
as an 8-year-old?
8-year-old, yeah. I stopped smoking weed when I was 8, actually. But
what year? Whoa. When did you start?
Probably around when I was 6, 7, smoking weed with my cousins.
All right.
And
all right. So you stop at 8. Okay.
Because I got arrested and we went to juvenile. We didn't spend a lot of time in there, but we ended up getting arrested. Went to juvenile detention. We stayed there for the majority of the day. My daddy came in there like he was in the WWE, saying he was gonna kill us and everything, and that changed my life. It's a whole story around that.
And when former Officer Tatum said that to me, I knew at the moment that he said it that it sounded odd. But I didn't want to call him on it because I had bigger, more important things to accomplish in that conversation, so I just let it go. But what he didn't know is in the early part of my career, I was working clinically with the drug court program in Tarrant County, Texas, where he lived, where this incident he's referring to about being arrested at 8 years old would have happened. And here's the truth. In the state of Texas, they do not take anyone under the age of 10 into custody or into any other facility. They just don't do it. If you are caught smoking marijuana at the age of 8, they would simply return you to your home, at which time the adults in charge of you would be in a lot of trouble.
All right, that's enough of that. So this fool said I lied. He didn't verify anything. He didn't look into it. Just because they tell you or he read somewhere on the internet that they don't take you into custody, that's on him. I was taken into custody. Let me explain to you guys quickly what happened. You guys have read my book, know what happened. We were with my cousins, and this is typical of how we used to smoke weed. My daddy used to we'd go to our cousin's house during the summer or whatever, and our cousins didn't have a lot of money. So my daddy would give us a $20 bill for us to eat while we over our cousin's house so they don't have to pay for us to eat. We used to get a 20 to my cousin Kevin. Kevin used to go get weed. Now, we don't know if he was screwing us or not. Just I don't know how much a dime bag costs. We didn't know. We just gave him the 20 that my daddy gave us. Now, my daddy don't know this is happening. We give him the money. He go buy the weed. We take it. We come back to the house. His mom and them wasn't keeping up with them. We go to the park down the street. We roll a blunt, and we smoke weed. We were doing that at a very young age. This time, my cousin, I'm not going to say people's names. Y'all don't know these. I'm going to say my cousin, Maina, all right? We stole weed from his daddy. Took it out the drawer, had some weed, so he had the weed. We got with our other cousins. It was 7 of us. 6 of us was under 17. My cousin and them found a vacant house. We get into the vacant house. We got blacks. We smoking blacks while we getting ready to roll the weed. So all of us, I remember this house like it was yesterday. The grass was this high. We get in. We go to the back room on the left. The other rooms had needles and stuff in it, so we didn't go in those rooms. We went to the one on the left. In the room, from where I'm sitting at, window, closet, door that leads to the main area. We sitting in a circle. We smoking blacks. They rolling the weed. My cousin Benjamin said, "Hey, man, I hear something." And we like, quit being scary, bro. You ain't hearing nothing. Nobody know we in this house. It could have been 2 minutes later, cops come in. They come through the window, and then they come through the front door. My cousin, Maina, tried to run through the closet and get in the closet, but he was too big to fit. And then my other cousin said, "Get your fat out the closet before they shoot you." So he gets out of the closet. They take us. The 17-year-old went to big boy jail. They put 6 of us in the cop car, 5 of us across, 1 over the top. We were all handcuffed. They drove 6 of us to a lot. They set us down. They got all our contact information. They put us 3 by 3 in each police car. Me, my brother, and Kevin was in one car. They take us to the substation. This is back when the seats used to flip up. So they get us out, and then they pull the seat up and claim there was some weed in the seat. And none of us could have put that weed in there. And I think they used it to scare us. But inevitably, that's what they did. They go, this is you. This y'all weed. We get into the detention center. You walk in, the bays where they take your property. I was so young that I had property. I had a pocket full of cars and a belt. That was my property. They put us in 2 cells. My brother's in this one. I'm in the one to the right. It had no door on the inside. I mean, no, you couldn't open it from the inside. We sat there. They called my dad. He shows up. He's in there. I can see steam coming out his head. Came to pick us up, took us home. And the ride home is what changed my life. Because we thought we were going to get towed up. Because I come from an area where we get whoopings. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm live.
They appreciate that gift.
I did not brief anybody. I should have. I didn't brief anybody, so I hope my mom and them answer, and I hope they don't say nothing crazy. I'm just going to ask my mom and them a simple question, live.
Somebody at age 6.
And this tell you this fool, and I told him, I'd send him a message first. I said, you better take that down, because you lying. Let me call my mama real quick. This is live. I hope she don't say nothing crazy. Y'all be ready to mute me and my mama start talking crazy. She may not answer it. I didn't brief none of my family. I got 3 people call.
Hello.
Hey, mama.
Hello. Hey.
Appreciate that gift.
Well, first, I got to tell you live on my show. So I just want to ask you a question, because somebody came online and they lied about me, and I want to ask you, did this happen or not? Because they said I lied. Me and Bobby, when we were young, did we get arrested or not?
Yes. Yes.
Did we go to the detention center when they arrested us?
Yes.
Who picked me up from the detention center?
Your dad.
That's all I wanted, Mama. Because some fool online said I made it up and I lied, and that we had never gotten arrested for smoking. And no, why did we get arrested?
Because y'all was caught in that house with marijuana.
So that's all I wanted, Mama. These fake people don't understand, and they think I'm making it up. So I just wanted to call you and see if I'm lying or not. Huh?
No, that's true. They don't know you.
Yeah, they don't. And me and you, Mama, if me and you had an interview, the internet would blow up. They have no idea who I am and what we've been through or whatever. So anyway, love you, Mama. That's all I wanted.
Okay, love you back.
All right, bye-bye. This is all. I'm gonna call my brother, cause my daddy don't like stuff like this. So I'm gonna call him last. But let me call my big brother real quick. Let me see. Y'all bear with me because I'm doing this live.
They said the mama lying in the chat. I see y'all on stock sick.
All right, let's see my brother.
I see y'all on his ass.
Can they hear this well?
BT.
What's up, big bro? Hey, I gotta warn you, you're live right now on my show.
I'm live?
Yeah, you live on my show. I called you because somebody on the internet said that I lied about something, and I want to ask you, did this happen or not?
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
All right, when I was, I think I was 8 and you were 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what happened to us when we were 8 and 10?
I remember a lot of things.
So, all right, let's see. Let me give you a hint. It was 6 of us.
It was at cousin house, right? We got caught in that vacant house.
Yeah. What happened, bro? Why did we? What happened? Just walk us through when we first got there. What were we in there doing?
We used to go to our cousin's house because we know our parents would leave us a little bit of money. Our cousins would get that money, buy some weed, and we would smoke. And we were smoking in like a little car at first, and then somebody came up with the bright idea to go to the vacant house to smoke.
And while we were smoking in there, police surrounded us and ended up putting us in a car and taking us to juvenile.
All right. When we got the juvenile, explain that. We were in the same room or two different rooms?
Honestly, I don't even really remember. All I remember.
Yeah. What you remember?
All I remember was Lil Mars, because I guess he had brought all the weed, and I was like, man, I hope Daddy don't kill us. That's the only thing.
Who picked us up?
Daddy, I think.
Yeah.
I believe. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We I was thinking like we were hoping their parents did it because Daddy was gonna kill us, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was scared for my life. I thought Daddy was gonna kill us for sure. And we was the ones that didn't get a whooping, and I think Mars ended up getting a whooping, and the belt got caught in the ceiling fan.
People don't realize. They think I'm making this up, bro. We went over their house and the ceiling fan was sitting on the pool table. And we're like, why the ceiling fan sitting on the pool table? Because when he got a whooping, his daddy, the ceiling fan, his belt got caught in the ceiling fan, he pulled the ceiling fan down. But anyway, that's all I wanted, bro. That's all I wanted, bro. I ain't even warn you. People so fake out here, bro. I just had to throw it out there.
Right, absolutely. It's funny. I wish you could see what I was doing right now.
Oh, you live on my show. I hope it ain't nothing crazy.
Nah, I'm on the toilet.
Man, chill out. You ain't had to say that. You could have made something
I
up.
wish I'd have Skyped you in.
Man, chill out,
Right.
bro.
Nah,
Oh my God, I'm done.
I'm trying to keep my daughter from
I'm
talking
done.
again,
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I'm done. This nigga said he was on the
I'll talk to you
toilet.
later.
Love you too, bro.
All right, peace.
Man, the nigga said he was on the
All right,
toilet,
last
bro.
person I'm gonna call is my daddy.
Man, you was out of line
And
for
I
that.
told y'all,
And
my
he
dad
was
don't like
laughing.
doing stuff like this, so he might be mad. But I'm gonna call him anyway. I'm surprised everybody answered the phone.
I'm done. Boy, I'm done, bro.
Hey,
Daddy,
what's up?
hey, I'm live on my show right now. Don't get mad. I just need you to verify something. Because
What's that?
somebody came out and said I lied about something, and I just want to verify it. I think I was 8 and Bobby was 10. I wrote about this in my book. Did we get detained or arrested when we were young for that vacant house thing?
Yes.
Who came to pick us up?
Had to be me.
Were you mad when you picked us up?
I was mad as hell.
But because somebody on the line said it never happened, I made it up, that in Tarrant County, they wouldn't have, if something happened, they would have brought me home.
No, they took you downtown, and I picked y'all up, and I talked to the detective and told him that you guys were good kids, and I didn't know how y'all got involved in that stuff, but he let you go home to me, but y'all still had to pay for it.
Yeah. What was remember we went, was it the next day or the day after we went and talked to the detectives or something like that? You remember that?
I can't remember when it was. I know it was a Hispanic male, and I know that I talked to him about everything that was going on. And said y'all were good kids, and I just explained the situation. Y'all with your cousins, and y'all were out, and I let y'all stay.
Hey, y'all get me to 100 likes, gang.
Did that.
Yeah,
I didn't know about it, but
double tap
so
the
y'all
screen
good
for me.
kids, and so I can't remember exactly how it played out. If it was a ticket or something down the line, I don't remember all the details, but I do remember that did happen. So if somebody's asking that question, it definitely happened.
And did we get a whooping?
Well, yeah.
You said yeah. No, you didn't whoop us. I mean, I thought you were gonna kill us, but
I can't remember that. I probably blacked out. I don't remember that. I was mad as hell. I didn't know
Somebody said,
that it took place.
somebody
But,
said, I know his dad low respect after they call. He
where were
called
you
him up
working at
like
the time?
this stupid nigga.
I was with fire department.
Was it the same city that we got in trouble in?
I'm done.
Yes, Fort Worth.
All right, Dad. That's all, man. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just somebody was saying something on the thing, and I said he put on this platform that I lied about it, and this is how he know I lied, and saying I lied. So I just wanted to clear it up. I'm sorry. I didn't warn you before I called you, but.
Well, that's 100% true. I mean, there's no lie there at all. There's no exaggeration. It actually happened.
Hey,
I know
who
that for a
said
fact.
that?
I was
Who
there.
said that?
I mean, I had to come pick your name, Bobby.
Oh, Bud.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to
All right,
Bud.
well, love you, Daddy. I'll call you back, but I appreciate your answer.
yeah, okay.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Shout out to Bud, man.
All right.
Oh,
Now,
shit.
we can condense that down.
Boy, you took me out there,
But
boy. I couldn't even
Mr.
hold it down.
Fake doctor, clinician, or whatever he claim he is,
Oh,
he
shit.
need to stop lying about me, brother. If you had a question, he could have
shit.
DM'd me. I got the DMs right here.
Damn, boy, I
he
needed that,
DM'd
boy.
me. He should have said, bro, I didn't believe your story about you got arrested when you were 8 years
Hey,
old.
Bud, a fool.
He could have left it at that and said, hey, bro, do you have proof? Or like, did you really do this? Because I don't believe it. Oh, let me show you proof, bro. What do you want to see?
Oh,
I literally just I told my staff, they were like, hey, you sure you don't want to text your mom and them before they call? What if they don't answer? I say, bro, I'm going to do it live. My daddy was the only one I thought would be like, don't put me on the internet. But as you can see, didn't rehearse. This was 30 years ago. I didn't talk to my brother about this, my mama or my daddy about this in 30 years. Oh, we talked before that, but we haven't talked about this in a while. I just called him sporadically on the phone. If I had my cousin Kevin, which my cousin Kevin is in prison, he getting ready to get out. But if I could talk to my cousin Kevin on the phone, I ask him what happened. My cousin Lamar's on the phone, I ask him what happened. But I don't want to call them because I gotta find a number. My cousin in prison, I can't call him. He can call me, but I can't call him. And then my cousin Lamar's, we ain't talked in a while, and I don't want to just call him for that. And Benjamin was there with me too. Come on, bro. And y'all don't know none of them, so me saying their name don't matter. Anyway, I just want Connie, Mr. Fake doctor therapist, that swear to God that I lied about me getting arrested in a vacant house at 8 years old. And it's not something I'm proud of. I only told that story because the real story is that when we were driving home, my daddy told me, I thought we were going to get towed up. But my daddy told me, if you want to, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life, if you continue to act this way, and I'm paraphrasing, you would never make it to the NBA. And at that time when I was a kid, I wanted to be like Michael Jordan. So the whole story ain't, look at
I couldn't hold that way. I'm done, I'm done, man. Oh, look, wait. Wait. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Wait. Wait. God damn, boy, y'all got me in tears. Wait. That nigga said, my whole life, I wanna be like Mike. Wait. God damn, that shit was funny here. Hold up. Wait.
But as you can see, didn't rehearse. This was 30 years ago. I didn't talk to my brother about this, my mama or my daddy about this in 30 years. Oh, we talked before that, but we haven't talked about this in a while. I just called him sporadically on the phone. If I had my cousin Kevin, which my cousin Kevin is in prison, he getting ready to get out. But if I could talk to my cousin Kevin on the phone, I ask him what happened. My cousin Lamar's on the phone, I ask him what happened. But I don't want to call them because I got to find a number. My cousin in prison, I can't call him. He can call me, but I can't call him. And then my cousin Lamar's, we ain't talked in a while, and I don't want to just call him for that. And Benjamin was there with me too. Come on, bro. And y'all don't know none of them, so me saying their name don't matter. Anyway, I just want Connie, Mr. Fake doctor therapist, that swear to God that I lied about me getting arrested in a vacant house at 8 years old. And it's not something I'm proud of. I only told that story because the real story is that when we were driving home, my daddy told me, I thought we were gonna get toe up, but my daddy told me if you wanna, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. If you continue to act this way, and I'm paraphrasing, you would never make it to the NBA. And at that time, when I was a kid, I wanted to be like Michael Jordan. So the whole story ain't, look at me, I got arrested. Look at me, I'm dead. No, it wasn't. It was what happened after that.
I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done, bro. I'm done with I'm done with stop shit, bro. Why that nigga had me in tears, bro? I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done, man. I ain't gonna cap. God damn, this shit was funny, bro. He said he wanna be like Mike, but man, I'm done. Man, bro. God damn, bro. You gonna throw me off with that. That nigga had throw me off for real, though. I ain't gonna cap.
Told me that
always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. So he's only doing what he's been trained to do. Wow. This dude is it, and now to get there, and this dude's talking about he was on cocaine, and listen to this.
someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. This person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
If he was in fact on cocaine and did cocaine and alcohol, the best time to do shit like that is when you're young. If he were a 50-year-old dude doing it, established-year-old dude doing it, it would be a blight. But all of us, I've done cocaine, right? Wait a minute. Hold up. I've done cocaine. You've done cocaine, right? No. Well, you from Africa. You know what you did.
I have not done cocaine.
Okay, I have. Have you done cocaine
First of all,
before?
my mama watching this.
Hey,
You ain't supposed to be saying shit like that. I done cocaine. You done. How about we just say everybody here has done
the most salient point of it, we used to do something.
Okay. There you
But
go.
when you're trying to rely, I guarantee you that if that man, if that little boy did that, everybody else, if he did cocaine, he didn't come there with it. They gave it to him.
Right.
The one thing a young black 19-year-old D1 athlete ain't gonna have is cocaine. What he has is people with access to it.
But what they got to do with drowning?
Exactly, because what they try to do is devalue their lives. And I'm gonna tell you something. This dude, man, this dude right here, the reason that they would speak to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic ear.
He's a safe ear.
He's a safe. And the only reason people on the right fuck with black people is if they safe. They're predictable. I got to know what you're going to do, or I can't fuck with you. What does it say that Nancy Grace, an established prosecutor, believes there's something there, and he doesn't? The girl, who's the girl? Miss Rachel believes there's something there, but the shoe booty nigga that couldn't make a football team believes that he knows some people don't. This dude, and he's getting, and he talked about how he got death threats. You didn't talk about how his mama got death threats. You had his best friend on there maligning that relationship. I don't know that dude. I don't know who did what. But the only person I know for sure is innocent is that boy's mama. I don't know nothing about them, and I know for sure none of them was friends. None of them. They have taken a wide latitude and a license with a friendship, and that's the problem we're having, because we don't know a friend that would act like that.
Well, not even that. I think the bigger problem also is I don't know a case that didn't involve melanated people that you would have something like this happen. You were talking earlier about Natalie Holloway. They searched for that guy for 18 years.
Yes.
And that story about Natalie Holloway.
Right.
Yes. But that story was on the news every day or every other day. They wanted to get to the bottom of it. They wanted to talk to any and everyone who was in proximity of her. However, you don't talk to the kids who saw him last.
Exactly. When this dude, Brandon Tatum, talks about Sandra Massey and talked about Sandra Massey had acted so suspiciously by holding a boiling water that she basically led to her own death. Because the thing about black people, the thing when black people die, you don't die once, you die over and over again. They kill your character, they kill who you could have been, and they kill what people knew you as. Now we're going to start hearing about how story. Is it really that unusual that an 18-year-old kid getting ready to go off to college got drunk or tried drugs? Is it really? Don't talk to me about morality when you right now support a dude who's closely associated with a pedophile. Fuck you and your values. Don't tell me about that. And you supposed to be a cop too?
I was about to say, no wonder he got fired.
He's
I'm
not
like,
a former cop.
solve the case.
Former cop. What made him elevate like this was going viral on social media. So what he is an influencer.
But talking an influence, but only for them.
He got a YouTube channel. I don't even like calling him an influencer.
And how dare you put yourself in the same sin as me? You was my fan. I was never yours. I'd have never liked a nigga like you.
Yo,
never.
Oh wow. That'll hold him.
Never. I'd have never. I used to be his fan, but I'm supposed to make people like you uncomfortable. I'm raised for niggas like you. I am. You supposed I'm sunshine to roaches. I'm light to roaches. You supposed to not like me. We're not supposed to be in the same sphere. I'm glad that you stopped liking me because that means I was doing something right. What you are doing is making apologies for something that should be easy to have. We should all be suspicious of a state that has shown itself to be dubious when it comes to black lives. And you forget you have one. And how dare you have the temerity to talk about the way somebody else speak?
Yeah.
You have the temerity to speak about somebody speak. You didn't get into this game because of your acumen. You got into this because of your size and your athletic prowess. When that didn't work, you did that, used that same thing for police work. When that didn't work, you tried to intimate, you had intellect. Let's play with them, kid. I've been at this longer than you've been alive. And I'm still here. And you know my name. And the only reason I know your name is because somebody gave me a coon alert. Literally. He is.
That's gonna leave a mark.
And the problem with him, and he don't seem to get this, and I'm never gonna call you officer. You're not that anymore. You're not an officer. You're ex-officer. And you didn't make it to detective. I would have a different conversation if you'd risen to the level of detective. If you were on a police department 6 years, you didn't get far. And now you're sitting up here talking to us as you're if you're an expert.
Well, not just talking to us, but having the audacity to
Hey, he don't stop six ass. They don't stop six ass, man.
Because remember in his video, he said, I traveled here to Mississippi to get to the truth.
Right.
These kids are innocent.
Right.
How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. But actually did get the interview, which of course questions why would
why?
Well, I know why, but
I'm going to tell you something. The last thing they'll let a big, strong black man do is put them in a position where they're uncomfortable. By definition, if they let you in their proximity, they're comfortable around you. They're comfortable around you. And I don't know how you can investigate a situation that has so many moving parts and make people comfortable. Yeah. Most times, law enforcement is shaking a tree and see who does what.
My parents would have whooped my ass if I held on to that phone. What you got this phone for?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a dead person's phone.
Right.
You turn this shit in.
Exactly. I do not understand. I know what it's like to lose a friend, somebody you love. I can't go honestly, I can't go, I'm sure this has brought that up for me. So it's almost every time something happens, I think about it often and what part I could have played. But the one thing I know for sure, I will always question my actions in terms of if I'd have been there, what could happen. But I'll never question how much I loved him and how much a friend of him I was. I hold him on my heart. Right. Up until about 10 years ago, I used to use his name when I checked the hotel. Don't tell me about a fucking friend. Don't tell me about you scared because people like you harm. I'm going to say bye to my fucking friend because it's the last time I'll get to see him. So let's stop using the word friend. Maybe if we were saying acquaintances, maybe if we were saying teammate, maybe you were saying we wouldn't have the import. It wouldn't have the weight that it does. You put that weight on there. You inserted yourself in the story. You said you were his friend. You told us, but you forgot that niggas know what friends are. We know what that means. The fraternity I belong to, I went to that fraternity because of its value and its connection to friendship. So don't sit up there and tell me, play on the word friend, and then expect me not to hold yourself up to it. Don't talk to me about morality when you do anything other than that. I don't know what you did. I know what you didn't do. You weren't a friend. You weren't that. You can be anything else. Don't call yourself a friend. And if that's a friend, if that's a friend to you, and somebody who is in that sphere claims to be your friend, you better fucking run.
Yeah.
You better run. The one thing we know, because we ain't ever had shit else, the one thing we know is friends. And the other thing we know is bullshit. And those people are not acting in any way friendly or people that are concerned about the outcome.
To the funeral or the memorial service. Right. Why didn't you go?
Obviously, I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends, but I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats of people saying they're going to kill me and do crazy things to my family and I couldn't bring myself to go because, I got to put my own safety first.
Not just the friends, but the parents of the friends, because you would think that they would know, that it would be the right thing to do to seek justice for another child.
Yeah. This shit just blows my mind because it's like, yo, why you holding on to this phone? This is something that can help.
Because an adult knows, an adult in authority, an adult who's in the legal realm knows that that's information. Correct. It's time, it's pinging off towers, it puts people in proximity to things. They know how valuable that is.
They've been coached. They've been coached.
Yeah. That boy didn't call and talk about giving. He talked to an adult.
If we were watching this on a TV show, everybody, we would all be like, oh, they did it.
They did it.
You would instantly think that if you were just watching the show and they put all this there, we were watching Law and Order, you'd be like, oh, they did it.
If it was, we changed the circumstances around and everybody looked differently, we'd all say they did. The difference is we would say they did it, no matter who did it.
Right.
And if and when, and somebody's going to have done something, if and when, and now I understand that the family, Nolan Wells' family, is serving his friends notices. I will tell you this: if and when we find out that somebody was involved or somebody knew about it, they should sue not only them, but they should sue Brandon Tatum too. You inserted yourself in that. You want a bite of this shit sandwich? Take your part. Right. I guarantee that you should have a part of it because that's what happens. You wanted to be an influencer? Okay. Play that game. You wanted to. I have never, like the one thing, and I'll leave it here because he said, you can't make me hate white people. I would never want you to hate anybody. I'm not asking you to hate white people. I'm asking you who the fuck made you hate us. I said this earlier. The same reason that Mississippi feels comfortable with Brandon Tatum, they're comfortable with him as opposed to Al Sharpton and my frat brother Ben Crump. It's the exact same reason that ESPN.
Hey y'all, 20 more likes before we're at 100 likes. Y'all get me to 100 likes.
You ask questions.
Turn me up.
And be
Let's
a
go.
supporter of the people we're trying to malign. When I saw Ryan Clark, this is Ryan Clark when he was emotional.
And this kid, from the West Bank, is like so accepted in New Orleans now. Like, I wouldn't change that. Never. Like, all I ever wanted to do
We need 10 more likes, gang. 10 more likes.
All this kid wants to do
That's all.
is his
10 more
job.
likes. We'll be at 100. That'll be gold, gang. I salute for everybody.
And
For real.
humanize it in a way. And they don't need that. What does it say that they feel comfortable with Stephen A. Smith and not with him? And the only person between those two who was the athlete, who was on the field, who won championships, who bled for his profession, who competed at a level that only dozens of people in the world have, is him. What did he do that made you feel like he was the threat and he was the thing you had to put? The real expert, the one who bled and got concussions and hit people and went to practices and know what it's like to be in the crucible of athletic competition, and the dude who talks shit about him. One plays black, one is.
Yeah. Well, he said it. He said that he felt he was too black for them.
He was. The thing that is true is when you make people feel bad, when you're a dissenting voice in the room, when you say the things that they get not to hear, you are already a target. There's an old expression like always bet on black, except if it's an ESPN or Mississippi. All right, that's gonna do it for the show.
That's crazy. Man.
This is Uncertain. We'll see you next week.
Crazy, man. But that dog on DL. Hey, y'all know how DL get down. Don't act like y'all don't know. Don't act like y'all don't know how DL get down, gang. Do not act like y'all don't know how DL get down, gang. Stop it. Stop it, gang. I tell you what, I got something for y'all. I got one more for y'all. Get the lights up, gang. Get me to 110 likes, gang. We at 98. I got one more for y'all, gang. Let's go. We got one more. Let's go. Let's turn this bad boy up, man. Let's turn this bad boy up, man, right quick. Because everybody been waiting. And I seen somebody put the names in the chat a couple of times. They've been waiting. And then they said, they were asking me, they're talking about I won't play the video because I'm a racist. But they don't know I rock out with this shawty all the time. They just don't know it. They don't know it. I rock out with this shawty all the time, gang. All the time. They don't even know it. Alright, get the lights up, gang. Let's go. What? No super chats, no gifts. We only had 10 gifts on this live. We've been here 2 hours. Damn. That show me y'all y'all been in here though. Y'all still been in here, but I'm just saying, dang. Throw me a little something. It's savage, man.
Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubay joining me. He's joining us out of LA. Formerly in the public defender's office, they try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to...
Wait, pick him up?
And smoke. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse. During the altercation, every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about? I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth. And let's
and that would be the video?
Remember, Nancy.
Okay.
Not consistent.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that's come to even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so,
but Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular fight that would lead to his death. And when you look at the autopsy, there is no blunt force trauma to his face. There is no lacerations or damages to the back of his head. This is redness that was underneath the skin.
Oh, wait, are you looking at the screen? Because I'm looking at a big red mark on the back of his head.
Yeah, but this is underneath the skin. This is not a big red gash that's in the back of his head, which would be consistent with blunt force trauma. This is something that occurred underneath the skin that could have been from pooling of blood after his death due to, you know.
Okay, I need to explain something.
Yeah, I'll let the experts talk about specifics, but it doesn't appear that.
Okay, let's do that. But I want everyone to understand why Officer Tatum is here. Officer Tatum and Philip Dubé and others on our panel tonight are taking a particular side. Right? It's called cross-examination, and it is similar to what happens in court. A theory emerges, a line of questioning emerges, and the other side tests it with fire under cross-examination. And then, hopefully, you get to the truth. Right now, we're talking about an alleged eyewitness to an altercation just before Nolan Wells is dead. If she has not handed this over to the police, it doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. But Tatum has a good idea, and that is, let's let an expert discuss it. To Joseph Scott Morgan, death investigator, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University. You can see him now on a hit podcast. It's on YouTube, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, if there had been not a blunt force trauma that Officer Tatum is describing, but a fist fight, if there had been a fist fight, plus body in water for multiple days, body decomposition. Would you expect to see red marks on the hands at that juncture, on the face? What would you expect if there had been a fisticuffs?
Yeah, you would see, well, first off, above discolored areas, like consistent with contusions. If there are facial strikes or just body blows, you can actually see abraded areas over the surface of his fingers, and these are very subtle sometimes. And if there is decomposition, which we believe there is, particularly per the second autopsy that was performed, he didn't make note of this. And can I go one more step with this? And this is kind of graphic, but people need to understand this. This physician that did the second autopsy actually did what's referred to as a coronal sectioning of the face. So there were multiple incisions made into Nolan's face in this autopsy, this second autopsy. And this guy didn't see anything. He didn't see anything that was of import relative or indicative of blunt force trauma. And I would think that if there was contact, particularly if he's fighting a group of people, these sorts of things have injuries probably on the leading edges, or referred to as the blade of the arm right here on the forearm, the back of the hands, the knuckles, those points of contact. And certainly if there's facial strikes going on with him, which we find with blunt force trauma many times with fisticuffs, as you say, you'll see these strikes, you'll see marks on the face. There's nothing to indicate that in the second autopsy. Now, what the state has, I don't know, but I do know this. I know they're saying they're done with the autopsy and it's complete, which means the gross findings in the autopsy room, the tox, the histology, that means that autopsy report is complete. They just hadn't released their findings yet.
And speaking of that, Joe Scott Morgan, I've heard the same, that the autopsy is complete.
Yep.
There are reports that there is no cocaine in Nolan's system. That's uncorroborated reports.
Okay.
But a good source. No cocaine in the system.
Yep.
Joe Scott, when the body has been in the elements, such as the water, for that long, how can I confirm if he had been drinking or not?
Oh, you can still pull a BA, blood alcohol, or blood ethanol level, as it's referred to. And again, Nancy, we're not talking about someone that has been down for weeks and weeks. We can still do the BA, and it can come from urine, blood. We can still draw urine and find it pretty effectively. You'll have what's referred to as qualitative. We've talked about this before, and I know you understand that, but so our friends understand. You have a qualitative amount, which they say, yes, it is present. And then you have a quantitative amount where they do the measurement of the BAC, the blood alcohol content. Just think about DWI, DUI, wherever you're from, those levels. And then we get up to those lethal levels. That's really what I'm interested in relative. And yeah, I'm interested in any of the other toxicological findings you might have relative to anything illicit or illicit drugs, but particularly with alcohol, because that has been kind of this thing that has been said over and over and over again. Well, let me see it. I want to know what the blood alcohol level was like. And historically, I would like to know what his level of experience has been with alcohol. As you well know, because of the cases you've worked on in the past, Nancy, if you're a lightweight, if you've never had anything to drink and you start taking on copious amounts of alcohol, and you're kind of a neophyte in this area, it can have very, very lethal outcomes.
Oh, let me understand. Joe Scott Morgan joining us, star of Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan on YouTube and Death Investigator. When I'm asking you, even if the body has been in the elements for a period of days, can I still get a blood alcohol? Maybe not from urine, but you certainly can't do a blow test. But can you take human tissue from one of the organs and extract a blood alcohol from human tissue?
No, it'd be very difficult. Generally, the liver is the best candidate. We'll spin that down. We'll take a section of it, spin it down, liquefy it. But again, I submit to you, Nancy, that he has not been down long enough to compromise the ability to get at least a quantitative amount. Yeah, to get a BA.
Okay. To Philip Dubé joining me, a veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney out of the LA jurisdiction. I'm not quite sure why you're so focused on who had been drinking. Let's take a look at the video. Let me answer that for you. Everybody was drinking. Okay, every snootful. So, even someone drinking can see an altercation, Dubé.
No, of course you can. I can see that crowd of people out there. It was a bustling, hot 4th of July afternoon. But who's to say that the people that she saw included Nolan Wells? And that's why you got to get into her ability to perceive and recollect being impacted by intoxicants such as alcohol. I would want to know if she had imbibed. I really would. Not to mention, the autopsy findings thus far do not reflect any type of physical insults or injury to his body. At most, what you have are signs.
I'm asking you about your fixation on the witness having been drinking. Joe Scott Morgan has already addressed the body. I'm talking to you about the alleged witness.
Yeah. If she had in fact been drinking, I do believe, unless they really have a video showing him in HD quality, showing that he was in a fight, then I would call her ability to perceive, recollect, and even state that there was an altercation going on in her presence.
You know, Brandon Tatum joining us, Officer Tatum on YouTube. I've cross-examined a lot of witnesses, and I cross-examined them exactly on that. How far away were you? Did you know the target? Were you familiar with them?